And I'm back, y'all. Hey, guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. This is your boy, James, and you're watching my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where today I'm here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it ain't gonna happen. Not in the slightest bit. I am not watching my mouth today. I'm so sorry, y'all. Oxymoron. But joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Yes, please subscribe to Mrs. Best as well. Any reviews or recaps I do not cover on my channel, it's because we cover it on Mrs. Best channel. We have a lot of different videos on there as well. You guys make sure you watch it. Especially my favorite is 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. They're currently in reunion. We think we have one more episode of the reunion. It is a time, y'all.
I think so.
Yeah, it is a time, y'all. That shit is crazy. But yes, we are here for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Shout out to my girl Keywan J. I did put her YouTube channel in my opening. Y'all click on her beautiful picture there. Subscribe to her channel. This is my girl. Love her to death. She usually would be up here, but I had to do a live last minute because I am working back to back, this week and next week. So, but shout out to my girl Keywan J. DM Rocks is in the building. Hey, thank you, DM Rocks. He is Team Destiny. I think we all are. I don't think anybody's not Team Destiny. If anybody's Team Tisha, please, be brave enough to put yourself in this chat. I would love to talk with you.
Team Tisha is in her house servicing Miss Wanda's truck. I'm just saying, her kids. That's it.
No, hey, Shady, thank you for being here. No, what had me laughing was Nell saying she was gonna give Destiny a ride. Sat her ass back down at that table and started eating. That shit took me out. I was on the fucking floor. I said, wait a minute.
Because I would have walked in. If I would have seen her eating, I would have walked out and called my Uber. You got me twisted.
But that shit was funny. I'm sorry, that was funny.
Nell don't even like Tisha. She don't care for Kimmy. Nell didn't like nobody left at that table, but she did like that whatever was on that plate.
Whatever that food it
was. Yeah. I seen the bone. There wasn't skin, no gristle, no fat. She cleared that chicken wing.
Oh Lord. I was hollering. God. I was like, wait a minute now. It was chomping on that salad. That food must have been good.
No, Nell is my husband in environments we've been in when people get the tripping. If there's food, he gonna finish his plate. Gonna finish his plate. I'm not mad at Nell.
Yeah, I'm not either. That shit was funny as hell. I'm sorry. I had to laugh at that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more. But speaking of Nell come outside just to he with a picture of lemonade. I'm looking at her like, what the fuck is so funny? This is now the second time Nell came into the scene just to giggling. I'm like, Nell, what is you doing? Is it the sex? Like, why is you just coming out just like just laughing? I'm like, damn, okay. So they're talking because Nell informed, Chris Fletcher that she invited their daughter over to talk because she had got some very crazy news from Destiny that there's a rumor that her and Twan, their godson Twan, are dating. And so she need to get clarification because that's a big problem. And not for the reasons that y'all would think is a big problem. No. So come to find out, there is a huge age difference between Twan and Kayla. I need y'all to elaborate what that age difference is because they look the same age. So what is the age difference?
If Twan is close with Lance, maybe he's 34, 35 like Lance.
Then how old is Kayla? Because I'm thinking Kayla got to be late 20s.
But I mean, it is kind of frowned upon once you're in your 30s to just be dating people so far into the 20s for men and women. But I also still strongly feel like they are fucking overreacting. She's grown, he's grown. They don't share blood. What the problem is.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, we're going to get into it because you know what? Fuck off. Hold on. Where her face at? Hold on. Because I have this scene threw me for a loop. But y'all know how I feel. Where my girl at? Where my girl at? Because see, I'm already putting her face up here because wait a minute. So we come to find out that Twan is divorced and he has 2 teenage daughters. And once again, I'm like, well, how old is that's why y'all needed to say age if y'all was gonna do all of this. Y'all needed to say age and shit. But Kayla get there and they tell her, we got some, interesting news. We heard that you and Twan are dating. And so Kayla admits it. She said, yeah, we have went out on a few dates. I worked at this bar. He used to be the security guard up in there, and we started talking. But this was well before y'all introduced us as your godson. I said, now wait to hold the fuck up. Now I'm even more confused than when I walked in this shit. So you mean to tell me that a year ago, Kayla did not know that was Nell's godson? Huh? Now, how is this your godson then? If Kayla just met him a year ago.
I would also like to point out that Kayla also said that they exchanged numbers. And I thought that part was weird because if somebody is supposed to be my god brother, god sister, which I do have those.
Yes.
I got their phone number. I don't call. My bad. But I'm not going to have to exchange numbers. I should be able to go get it from my auntie, my brother, my mama. There's something they're not telling us about the relationship with Twan. Maybe Twan, and that's what I mean, because you know how Black people are. Y'all know how we are. Whoever is closest to us at that time, if they got kids, suddenly it's them my god kids. That's my nieces and nephews, and it don't be not a lick of blood relation. People only knowing each other a couple years. It's giving Nell made a friend who had a son that was Twan, and it became this, because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Well, here's the thing. Even if that were true, Kayla said she worked there a year ago. And they're trying to throw in her face, well, he knew Lance for forever. And she goes, but I did not know that. So to me, y'all, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. My god brother and I have known each other since birth. I am older than my god brother. I'm 3 years older. But we were inseparable as kids. Like every birthday he was there. So I find it hard to believe that this is your godson. Now, what the fuck is going on? Is this a Bobby Christina, rest in peace, respectfully, baby? Is this a Bobby Christina and Nick Gordon situation? Like where y'all, I need more context because I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't get it. Kayla says she met Twan a year before. Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, if he's the godson, then how the hell y'all this seemed like this some recent shit. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, why is you picking up grown ass godchildren? Like that's crazy as hell to me. I'm sorry, that was crazy. This show has some. They do, and this is what I be talking about, Carlos. This why when people bring you shit like this, you need to get better, guidelines of time. I need to know, when did this start? How old is he? How long has he been there? Because usually isn't godchildren, y'all, if I'm not mistaken, isn't godchildren supposed to be from birth? You appoint a godparent from, when they're either a birth or smaller, like when they get maybe baptized or something. Isn't that when that's supposed to happen? Or am I lost and confused and thinking of something else? Mrs. Best, help me out. Isn't that when that's supposed to happen, or am I tripping? Because that's when it happened for me.
What?
But like when someone is appointed a godparent, isn't that supposed to happen like either at birth or when the baby gets baptized or christening?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes traditionally or religiously.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. People don't just go making statements like that. Sometimes people do it when their kids are older, like, oh, we don't have a godparent yet. Would you like to do it? But there's a conversation. Nell has not once disclosed that she has a relationship with Twan's parents, so it makes it hard to understand what's really going on. But to Pacino Rules' point, the show has confusing timelines because OWN as a network is cheap as fuck and doesn't want to pay actual experienced editors. And Carlos King, in my opinion, doesn't put the work. He's so busy looking at the mess that he's forgetting to fill in the important missing parts. It's kind of like the Zeus network. Like these girls are fighting and nobody quite knows why anymore. Like they're not giving us timelines, background stories. They're not giving us anything. But Tisha squealing like a pig.
Which we'll get to in just a second. But Nell fell away. Nell said, Kayla, we talked about everything. We don't never had no secrets between us, and I'm just so taken aback that you would keep this from us. And y'all did a damn good job sitting at the dinner table, not picking up on any energy, not nothing. And Chris said, "Well, do any of your siblings know? Like, does Lance, Lexi, Chris, do any of them know?" And she goes, "No, we didn't say anything to anybody." And to me, honestly, I felt like this was manipulation on both of their parts because one, the girl is grown. She don't owe y'all anything. If she want to be with somebody that is, well, I don't know how old Twan is. He don't look no more than 35. He really don't. If he's older than 35, then goddamn. But to me, I feel like that's not that big of an age gap for me. Now, if Kayla was seeing somebody 50, like if she doing what old girl on Bell Collector Birmingham is doing, then we would have a problem. So y'all need to review how old he is or get the fuck on. Because to me, I feel like Kayla didn't do anything wrong. And for Nell to say, we talk about everything, why would you keep this from me? They were just dating. It was a couple of dates. It wasn't like she got pregnant by him. It wasn't like they secretly got married. It wasn't like they been in a relationship this entire time. It seemed like they tried something, it didn't work, and they both moved the fuck on. And now they're probably just friends. So I'm sorry. That was crazy. That was crazy as hell that she said that I feel a way about this and just totally just weaponizing, her emotions on that daughter. I was like, oh no, you are tripping. I'm sorry. That is crazy as hell to me. That girl is grown. Like you wasn't even supposed to know. Now if the relationship was serious and she kept it from them, then I maybe slightly can understand why Nell would feel the way she did. But no, this was dating. This is not nothing that you needed to harp on. So y'all can miss me with that. That was crazy. And then the thing about it is, you parading around, that's your godson, but Kayla didn't know the motherfucker until a couple years ago. And then she didn't meet him through y'all. So y'all can miss me with that. That shit was crazy. So I didn't like that scene. I thought Chris and Nell were tripping. They were tripping for sure. Mrs. Smith, how did you feel about Chris and Nell?
She's grown. She can date who she wants. The end.
Absolutely. And I do think that Nell has a weird entitlement to her children. Absolutely. It is very weird. It is very strange considering that I can understand if Nell was a single mom, because that's typically how you see this with single moms. They tend to attach themselves hard to their children for whatever reason. And it's like almost a trauma bond situation. So I can see if Nell was single doing this, but Nell is married and having this entitlement to her grown children. That is crazy. That's even more odd than anything else. It just means that you unleash on your children in an unhealthy way, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Um, Rather awkward way to introduce a storyline for Kay after setting up Destiny and Twan early. That's another thing. Yes, that is another thing because it's like, okay, I'm not even finna go there because you know what? We're gonna be going around in circles about this. Nell and Chris, y'all are wrong. I don't see, especially now knowing that Kayla didn't even know this man her whole life. She just met him a couple years ago. Y'all are wrong, both of y'all. And I get having higher hopes for your daughter. Maybe you don't want her with a divorcee with two teenage daughters. Maybe you don't want her with that. I totally get having high hopes and wishful thinking for your children, but they're gonna date whoever the fuck they want to date. They're gonna be with whoever the fuck they want to be with. They're gonna be with whoever is going to satisfy them in that season of their life. You cannot control that as much as y'all would like to. And the fact that y'all want so much control over these grown kids and then want to complain and holler and scream at the top of your lungs and throw tantrums at the dinner table, y'all can't have it both ways. I'm sorry, y'all cannot do that. So yeah, now I just said all I need to say. Now I'm done. I'm not. They didn't piss me off. That was the first thing that pissed me off right there was them two. I'm gonna move on. Mrs. Best, do you want to add anything to that? Because I'm gonna move on. Okay, she ain't spoke y'all, so we gonna move on. So Tisha and Kimmy. So Tisha go over to Kimmy house, and they, talk and we learned that, she says that Marceau took their son MJ over to Rome to go see Kendrick Lamar. And I said, y'all couldn't have found him at tour in the US. Y'all had to go all the way to Rome to go to Kendrick. Okay. I always wanted to go to Rome, so I'm not hating, but I just thought it was interesting, because this is a trip that he did not include Tisha or the little girls with. And I'm pretty sure they listen to Kendrick Lamar as well. And I'm sure they would have wanted to have gone unless they had school or some shit. But we'll just say it like that. But Tisha tells Kimmy about, the exchange that she heard that Maurice and Marcel had, and that it's been really strange. And Kimmy tells Tisha, look, yes, I got Maurice's point of view of the story, and it is crazy. And I'm gonna tell you like this. I think it's also crazy that I have to, you know, be this way and wait for Marcel, but I could have easily had gotten a whole nother contractor and got this place finished. But I'm, trying to keep the money in the family, and I'm trying to do that because I have fired my gardener for less. So, she's like, oh, I know it is crazy. And, Marcel is overwhelmed and stuff like that. But I just think him and Maurice need to talk and, just kind of square that away. And I'm looking at Tisha like, did you not hear what the fuck Kimmy just said? That ain't got his relationship, Maurice, ain't got shit to do with what we're talking about. We're talking the fact that they went to your husband for a business dealing. Your husband accepted the project and probably gave them a timeline. Actually, I know he gave a timeline because Maurice said that they're a year past due than when Marceau said he can finish the place. So they are past due. They are wasting money, paying rent, and then their person who signed the lease needs to start their business for their catering company. And she can't even do that because she ain't got no kitchen. So she probably losing out money for the job she can't do out probably either out of her own kitchen or her old situation. So no, that just went over Tisha's head. I'm just looking at the scene like, okay, Tisha, like, yeah, I wonder about you sometimes. I do, because that's crazy as hell that you totally that went over your head like that. They did talk about Trisha's event. And she asked if she was going, and Tisha said, "Absolutely, I'm going. It sounds like it's going to be a fun time." And they have neither one of them have ever been to a drag show. I'm not surprised at all. And so they're excited, and and she mentions, well, Destiny's gonna be there. Have y'all spoke? And she goes, no, and and I'm not surprised, And so Tisha's giving her point of view of what happened in their argument. She goes, I went up in there when I went to the house. I was being shady. I said, congratulations on your first listing, because I wasn't sure if it was her first listing or not. When I came up there, I saw her broker's picture on the thing, so I thought maybe she was just house sitting the open house. I didn't know this was her actual listing, so I guess she's just getting commission, but you know. And when you see the scene, when they play the scene back, because I had totally went over my head, I didn't know Tisha was being shady from the jump. I just thought she was just being shady with that one comment. But Tisha said a couple of shady comments, and if I was Destiny, I would have cussed her out right then and there. But Destiny gave her grace, like she always does. So, they're hoping, Kimmy hopes that they can, come back from this, and that there's not too much water under the bridge. And I said, Kimmy, that's very ambitious of you, but this is water under the bridge. These two ain't gonna never see for each other, because they probably shouldn't have been friends in the first place. Because the only reason why they were friends, let's be very clear, is because they had an issue with Mel. That was the only reason why they were friends. Now that Mel's gone from the equation, they're now understanding that they don't have common ground like they thought they did. But that's all. Mrs. Best, how'd you feel about the scene with Kimmy and Tisha?
The way Kimmy was like, I fired my gardener for less. That was her way of saying, you better tell your nigga to get his shit together before I tell mine to sue his ass. Okay. That is the example of I'm only friends with you because you my sister-in-law, as Kimmy once said. But Tisha's not accountable. I can only waste so much energy on her. She's never going to be accountable. She's always going to say one thing and then act a different way. Because as you'll get to the end of the scene, when Destiny was mentioning to her face, you tried to throw shade at my business. She was saying, no, I did not. But you just admitted to Kimmy in the scene that we just discussed here that you were trying to throw shade.
Yep.
Why show up if you're just showing up to hate? What is the point? Because you want to be on fucking TV. Like, I can't stand Tisha.
I can't even.
I can't stand her. It's a shame. And y'all did this. COVID is the reason this lady is relevant.
Get rid of Tisha. We didn't have shit to do but watch this damn else show. To watch.
That's why nobody's talking about her. Nobody's mentioning her name in realms and scenes outside of this show. She don't connect to nobody.
Right.
Misery loves company. That's
exactly. 100%. So we're gonna move on, y'all. So it's Trisha's event. She's, we're at this club where we're gonna see some drag queens and work it out. There, Kimmy gets there first, and the man is explaining to them how the $1 bill situation works. It's different in every club, so hey, make it rain on them. And not only are the ladies from the show gonna be there, but Trish has her friends there as well. She has the lady. I want to call this lady Gloria, but I know that's not her name. The lady that always has the same hairstyle, that piece of track that swoops over to the left. Her name is not Gloria. Her name is. Let me see if I wrote it down in my notes. Sharon. Sharon's her name. Sharon. So Sharon with the piece of track. So Sharon is yeah, do what Keywan say, y'all. Do what Keywan say. And Destiny did clear Courtney. Yes, she did. I'm gonna leave this up here, Keywan. Thank you for that. So Sharon gets there. She also has, Laquita, Kilolo, and Bonquisha walk in too. And we talking, and everyone's excited. So Tisha shows up in her little onesie and the leopard onesie, and she goes, "Hey y'all!" And just coming in with all this crazy energy, talking about I never did this before, and it's a show and everything. But baby, the show got started. This person's like, "We are here because somebody getting married and someone's starting a new venture in life." And everybody looking around like, who getting married? Wait, what? Who is the bride to be? And who's starting a venture? And no one says anything at this point. And at this, as the ladies are dancing around with the drag queens, getting the show started, whatever, Miss Nell walk in literally looking like a mirror ball. And I'm like, Nell, you in this snooky wig is not going to bother me. It's not going to bother me whatsoever. What the hell do you have on from head to toe? Why? Why?
Ooh.
But okay. Nell.
Oh, Nell can't dress. Nell can't dress. And she can't do eyebrows either. Y'all see how boxy them things be on her face? She just an older lady. She just here. We're going to give her a pass. The senior citizen pass. Go on, Miss Nell.
Sharon was sick of Trisha. We all sick of that. Between her and Tisha, I needed a club. Courtney, you over here cutting up already. We ain't even got to the scene yet. Oh, Nell just like. Oh,
Courtney, go find the corner that your cousin set up.
For real.
Okay. And I want you to go there and I want you to reflect. But then I might have to drag myself there too, because I kind of do agree. She does dress like a lady of the night. She does. Nell gives somebody.
Yeah, she is stuck in the 80s. I'm telling you.
You remember the movie? What was it? Undercover Man? Was that Eddie something? I can't remember that movie. But Nell,
you talking about Undercover Brother? You talking about Undercover?
Yes.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I know what you're talking about.
Night from that film.
Yes.
She do. She's stuck in the 80s. I'm not mad at her. Because Chris Fletcher, he's stuck too. He think it's cool to have his beard a different color from his head.
No, it's the brooch. Y'all, when's the last time y'all seen somebody wear a brooch? That is not a today's thing. I didn't even know they still sold brooches. Like a brooch was an 80s thing. Like and men didn't wear brooches, women did. That's why I was like, why do you have a brooch? But okay. So the ladies then sit down and they start talking. So Kimmy asked the question, okay, so who's getting married and all this? And Trisha was like, I don't know who get married. I don't know. That ain't for me. But I am starting a new business venture. I decided that I'm going to go ahead, and Ken and we're going to do our own personal training business, and everyone's clapping with applause because she's leaving her job of 20 years, which maybe don't do that, but okay, that's not me. But she said that she's leaving her job of 20 years and going to entrepreneurship. Everybody's clapping, and Tisha asked, so how are you and Ken doing? Ken and I, we're good. We're good, Tisha. We had some, some issues. He messed around with some lady, and I'm going to hell. I know I am, but I will still do this. I spent the block with somebody. Now, Trisha, I 100% believe you. I 100% believe she spent the block, and I'm willing to bet my last dollar, and I don't care if I go broke. And I'm gonna say allegedly in case her ass get froggy. I 100% believe that she spent the block with Marquez. I 100% believe that because I've been saying it since I met the lady on this TV show. Ken cannot deliver in the bedroom what Marquez can. I can 100% guarantee that. That's why I believed it. As soon as she said it, I 100% believe. But she said, but yeah, now that I done got, everything going on with this man, I had to block him. I had to block him. I had to give him some, and I had to block him. Just like that. And I'm just like, okay, Trisha. Okay, Trisha. So Tisha then asked, well, so how are you guys in a relationship? Like, do you trust him? Like, are you guys building trust? Well, yeah, we build a trust. We are, it takes time because we done broke up two, three, four, 5 times, and it's here. It is, I still love him, and we gonna be together. I'm just like, whatever, Trish. If you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. We know in today's time, however, they're not together. So all of this was for nothing. So, okay. So, as the conversation then turns, because I'm tired of talking about Trisha Kim, we're going to get on to Destiny and Tisha, and so.
I do want to say before you move on from Trisha and 10, I think you read that a little bit wrong. That bitch ain't spun no block. She hasn't spun a block. She was talking to Kim when she was married to her man. And it sounds like outside of a job, Marquez was okay as a husband. That's what it sounded like. I feel like she was talking to Kim before she should have been talking to him while she was still in her marriage. Then she gave Marquez reason to disappear. He actually disappeared. Things got more serious with Ken. They end up being together because there's always been overlap in the relationship. Everybody seems to agree on that. I feel like she just don't want to look dumb because I kind of looked at her crazy like, you made it seem like Marquez was a problem, but you asked him to leave and you was talking to other niggas before he left. Now the nigga you got with that you thought was going to be your end all be all, who you thought was going to be willing to argue with your ex, now he done moved on to his next while with you and while on a TV show. So I feel like Trisha, especially when she stutters like that, that's usually when she's lying, as we've learned on this show.
Yeah.
I don't think she hooked up with anybody. And she do be posting thirst traps, but I don't think she actually takes it that step further and talks to men. But I think because Ken embarrassed her, she's probably out here like, yeah, and I spun the block. How you gonna spin the block, bitch? The overlap. You said you was with Marquez since high school. That's that.
Well, technically, that wouldn't be spinning the block because you're still married to him.
It wouldn't, but it has to be. If she did spin the block, it would have to have been Marquez. I don't believe she went back to him to sleep with him. I genuinely don't believe that. I think she just trying to one up Ken. Like, oh, he had a bitch he was talking to. Well, I had somebody I was talking to. I don't believe her.
Okay.
She always lie.
Yeah, she do. She did. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I can't wear. Is it because I'm imitating Trisha? Is that what you talk about, Courtney? And listen, that shit was funny. That all that damn stuttering and shit. I said, girl, come on now. Okay, Trisha had two. I'm trying to tell you,
she's lying. If you go talk to people, the body language experts and stuff, every single thing. Y'all remember that show Lie to Me years and years ago? Every single thing that we've been taught about what people do when they lie, and Trisha does.
Yes.
She'd be rocking back and forth, twitchy, fidgety, looking at the camera, darting from eye to eye, avoiding eye contact with people. All she do is laugh.
I mean, I know it's yuck when it comes to Marquez, but that's still her husband. That's still her husband. Trish ain't spun no block. She just don't want to look dumb for leaving. Yeah, now that you explain that does make sense. I wish I would Tisha question me about any man, let alone mine. When Marcel explained that back picture in Africa, then we'll talk about that strong dick.
They said at one point in the episode that he was in Rome. I'm like, does his job require traveling? I thought dude was a construction worker.
They went to Rome to a Kendrick Lamar concert. It was a Kendrick Lamar concert.
Oh, so they cheap. Okay, I get you. It'd be cheaper overseas for the concert.
Even though he could have had one in the States. And then why you didn't bring the little girls with you?
He had a whole tour in the States. Kendrick Lamar.
He sure did.
So he must
Tisha,
not have wanted to pay them $900 for that ticket.
but you'll pay
Yes.
$900 to fight. Okay, never mind. It's their
People
money, not
be
mine. Shit. Because I listen. Yeah, but okay. I'm over here sound like Trisha now. Let me stop. But
Marcel too old to be traveling that far for a concert. He can't even grow hair. Come on.
so yeah, so y'all, this scene with Destiny and Tisha was literally 20 minutes long. So I'm not going to go play by play. I'm only gonna talk about the important things. If y'all have something y'all want me to bring up specifically that either one said, put it in the comments and I will definitely do that. But I'm going to paraphrase this. That's why this lady's face up here, because this is how I was looking the entire time I was watching this. It is crazy. So I don't know who asked the question. I think it was Nell. Nell asked, how are you in Destiny? And, Tisha said, I could be cordial, but I'm good. I don't need to see her and everything. And Destiny just looking at her. And they talked about how this all started. And Tisha said, well, Destiny was back to Kimmy and she was talking shit about me. And Kimmy's like, well, no, Tisha. She was not talking shit about you. She was saying it out of a general concern as a friend, because it seems like whatever she does, she's met with an abrasive response. And Destiny's sitting there shaking her head like, thank you, Kimmy. Kimmy, you see that? I said, well, then, Kimmy, I need you to reveal how you brought that back to Tisha then. Because why does Tisha have a different understanding of what was said in the conversation versus what you're saying now? What did you say? And this is why I get mad at Carlos, because we did not see how Kimmy brought it back to Tisha. So I don't know how Tisha heard this information, and I don't know how she went back, but I don't believe that Kimmy said what she's saying today in this scene. I don't believe it was brought back to Tisha like that. Mrs. Best, do you think that it was brought back to Tisha in the way Kimmy's explaining it now? Because to me, it seems like it was not brought to her that way.
Kimmy is messy. And I've always felt like Kimmy is messy, and she's sneakily messy. So I'm sure that she probably brought something to Tisha as more than what it was. But at the same time, I also feel like Tisha was looking for a reason and a moment to have a problem with Destiny, because Nell ain't entertaining her BS no more because Tisha's mom did too much. So now she got to move on to Destiny. Like, I do believe what Destiny said in that interview that she just recently did. I do think that Tisha's willing to do anything just to be relevant on the camera. But I also feel the same way about Kimmy. She's just quietly sneaky. But I feel like Kimmy and Letitia know how each other are, and they choose to ignore it for what they view as the benefit of the show or themselves.
No, I 100% agree with that. And the thing about it, that's why I said they do a horrible job with translating that on camera in the scene on the episodes. They do. And I do agree with you, Kim. I think she was trying to do damage control because she did start it. Pacino Rule said, is it possible that Kimmy said nothing to Tisha and that Tisha is just determined to pound on Destiny? No, because Kimmy did say, no, that's not how she said it. I do believe Kimmy said something, and that's the thing. I don't know if Tisha just took it wrong based on what Kimmy said, but that's once again, I don't believe Kimmy brought it to her in this way. I do think that Kimmy did say it in a way that made it seem like Destiny was talking shit. I do believe
But
that for
I
some
also
reason.
do feel like Pacino rules that even if Kimmy said nothing, I think that Tisha still would have pounced on Destiny. She's just looking for a reason and a problem. She just look at Tisha ain't had her ass whooped correctly. You could tell. Come to Oakland, Tisha.
I said the same thing. We should have had inside. Yeah, because to me, it would have made this scene so much easier to assess. Because one, I'm still on Destiny's side, regardless, because I feel like Tisha was definitely wrong. Tisha started it. Kim, here's the thing: Destiny couldn't get through to. I think this whole point is Destiny couldn't get through to Tisha because Tisha felt a way about her taking up for Nell. And she didn't really even take up for Nell. She was trying to be on both sides because she's equally both their friends, even though she's known Nell longer. But the problem that Tisha has is Tisha has this allegiance where you have to have blind loyalty to her. That's why her and Mel didn't get along. Is that if you went against her in any way, shape, or form, you were automatically the enemy. And it's like, okay, I can't go through that with you. We're not in high school. This is not okay. Well, you can't be in my clique because you want to be on her clique. I should be able to be friends with whoever the fuck I want to be friends with. And if you have a problem, that's between you and her. That ain't got shit to do with me. I could easily be your friend the same way I could be her friend. We don't talk about you. You ain't gonna talk about her. I'm not per you, y'all. I'm a middle person. I really am in a lot of my relationships, but I never for once allow people to talk about another person to me, and I go back and say it to that person, and I don't do that. I'm just not that person. And I don't never put myself in an environment to where that would be a topic of conversation. There's a way to move around. There's a way to be Dolores Catania without ruffling anybody's feathers. It's very easy to do. So I just feel like, to me, I feel like Tisha was going to put Destiny in that spot regardless, because she wouldn't automatically discard Nail to put her on the island by herself. Nobody, no grown person's going to do that. Like, I'm sorry, Tisha, nobody's going to do that. So they're going back and forth talking about that, talking about, how you were talking shit and how, you never defend me in a conversation. And when Destiny pulled out the reverse Uno card on Tisha and she said, I do defend you. You know who doesn't defend you is your husband. I said, "Ooh, she got you with that one, Tisha. Sorry." Oh, and this Tisha, oh, you crossed the line. How dare you talk about my husband and all this? Because I don't bring up your fucking husband. I'm just like, oh. And then high pitched squealing nails on a chalkboard voice. Lord have mercy. I said, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Hold
Get
on,
her.
Courtney, say it louder for the people in the back because Courtney said Tisha expects more from her friends than her own man. And I don't like people like that.
That is crazy. That is
I
so
don't
crazy.
like people like that. And she does expect the most from her man, but she lets her man get away with absolute murder. That's why I be kind of looking at this show like I know it's called Love and Marriage Huntsville, but this is not what Black love should look like. That's not really what marriage should look like. Marcel and Tisha act like they can't stand each other and just tolerate each other something so vicious. I don't understand either of them, but I'm really this scene, James. It was too long, and this lady was squealing like a pig about to go through the slaughterhouse.
Absolutely. It was crazy. Like, to me, I was like, Tisha, I can't with this. So Tisha then throws on, like, just like you told Marcel to pop up on us and tried to ambush me at lunch. Destiny got in her feelings. She said, I would never fucking do that. I did not tell Martell to come see you and everything like that. That never happened. Destiny got pissed because they were talking about how that whole conversation came about where they asked a question about Marcel and Martell, but somehow it parlayed into Martell talking about Tisha and what she may have done with one of Marcel's friends back in the day when they were in college. So Tisha then says when her and Destiny met up that she told Martell to come in so they can ambush her. And I felt like, to me, I don't know where I stand with that, because I do agree. I was just going to say this. I feel like production set that up. I don't feel that that was Destiny. And I feel like Destiny's reaction let me know that that really wasn't her that did that. And that production told Martell to pop up on it. Because Destiny looked equally as surprised as Tisha did. So that's why I feel like that was kind of wrong for you to put that out there, Tisha. So Destiny has had it. Destiny said, fuck everything. I'm done with this. I'm not doing this for TV. I'm done. So Destiny walks out. And they'll say, wait a minute, Destiny, wait a minute. Nell was too busy eating that damn food. So Nell ran to the hallway and she says, I can't do this. Like, I got to go home. I can't do this because I'm going to end up whooping her ass. So I can't do this. And she goes, wait a minute, Destiny. I'm going to go get my purse, Destiny. Hold on, Destiny. So Nell walked back in the room, and instead of grabbing her damn purse, Nell go sit up there and sit back down at the table and start eating her food. Meanwhile, Destiny pacing the hallways trying to figure out how the fuck she gonna get out of this place. Because I don't know where they were. There wasn't no club. It looked like it was some old strip mall or something, or some, back room of a hotel. It was very confusing wherever they were. But Destiny's trying to figure out how the fuck she get out there. And then she's waiting on Nell. Nell's sitting over there eating, talking about, I don't know where y'all went left, but this food is good as hell. Like, I'm sorry. I need to be eating. But I got to give Destiny a ride home, but I'm gonna eat this food. So after a few minutes, Destiny walks back into the place and she goes, Nell, are we leaving or are we not? Because I can call me an Uber. She go, we leaving, Destiny. Hold on. Meanwhile, she got the cleanest bone of chicken in her hand, like the bone of a chicken in her hand. Like, what? No, like Mrs. Best said, wasn't no skin, wasn't no bristle, wasn't nothing on that chicken bone that she was holding. I don't know why she was holding it like that. So, you know, Destiny walks because Tisha gets up. And Tisha gets in Destiny's face, and she goes, "Oh, we good? So what's going on? What's up? What's with it?" And Destiny's like, "Get the fuck away from me." She go, "Oh, so you gonna cuss at me now, Destiny?" So Tisha chest is up. And as Tisha walks over to Destiny, Kimmy grabs her and yanks Tisha back to her. She goes, "No, we're not gonna do that." And Tisha's like, "Damn, Kimmy, you have to don't do me like that. Don't do me." And she goes, and Kimmy stands up and gets in Tisha's face and goes, "No, I'm gonna do you like that because we're not doing this here. We're not gonna do this." And I said, "Well, wait a minute. Is Kimmy and Tisha about to fight? What the fuck going on? Wait a minute. How we get here? I felt like I missed something." But baby, when Tisha was popping that fan all up in Kimmy's face, I said, "Oh, Kimmy, you better than I ever could have been, because ain't no way in the hell Tisha would have been able to do all of that." Now, wait a minute. Now, I get you being
Okay.
mad.
In real life, that's a problem. I remember
Yeah.
my little brother's girlfriend got comfortable one time. I mushed that bitch right in her face. I don't know what you thought this was. Welcome to the family, ho. Don't play with me. I don't understand why people let Tisha get away with what she gets away from. Let her walk up on Destiny, because Destiny stopped and looked at her like, "Oh, what's she about to do?" Like, what are you about to do? Tisha be doing too much because she gets mad. What I don't understand about Tisha is most people on reality TV who people view as a villain, because this bitch is a villain, she's mean. Like, they can kind of defend themselves, they could back up what they say. Tisha talk a lot of shit to other people and about other people's relationships, situations, throwing shade at careers and choices that people make. But then the moment somebody mentions shit about her husband that's obvious on a show about love and marriage, so her husband should be the topic, the bitch gets so upset and triggered that she act like she gonna walk up on Destiny. Tisha, you better check her mugshots and sit your ass still. That's all.
I'll tell you.
Lord help us.
It was crazy, but yeah, when Tisha was popping that fan in Kimmy's face like that, I said, "Kimmy, you better than I ever could have been," because I would have. When I tell you, I would have mushed the fuck out of her. Like, that's a trigger for me.
You
Please,
don't
y'all
pop
do.
nothing in nobody's face or fit nobody's bubble. And Nella's not a good friend either, because
no, she's not. And I'm glad you brought that up.
You're not gonna have me waiting out there for an Uber. Once I walk out, if you're gonna chase after me, bitch, you better come after me with your keys in your purse if you really finna drive me home. But don't have me waiting outside and then sit there continuing to get along and talk to the people while eating a piece of chicken. Like, that's not a friend. My friend wouldn't have had to wait 5 minutes, not 2 minutes. If James would have run up out of there upset, I'm grabbing we gone. We gone. We in the car.
I'm saying fuck that food. I don't care how good that food is. If Mrs. Best walk out of a place,
whole plate.
I'm taking the whole plate. Yeah, that's me. I've done that before. That's how I know. I'm taking the whole damn plate, and I'm asking her to hold this in the car because I wasn't done eating. So yes, absolutely. That's how you do it. So I agree, Courtney, 100%. Nell was wrong as fuck to sit back down there and eat that food when she knows she said she was gonna take Destiny home. Like, I'm just like, damn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Tisha wouldn't have been able to walk up on me like that. I'm sorry. There's no way she would have been able to walk. There was so much wrong with this scene, y'all. It was so much wrong with this scene. So Dale got in that Corvette and haha, I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties on my side. But can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Mrs. Best, can you hear me? Am I still muffled? Hold on, y'all. We at the end of the video anyway. So hold on. Can y'all hear me? You can hear me, Courtney? Okay, thank you. My bad, y'all. I had to switch. Y'all know I'm good at switching back from my modems. So yeah. But Nell got the fuck up on there. So Kimmy and Tisha walk up there and they act all confused. We don't know what happened. I can't believe that happened. And I'm just like, the Scotts are some interesting people. I'm just gonna say this. The Scotts are very interesting people. How y'all cause all that catastrophe, all of that rigmarole, all of that tension, all of that placement for y'all to walk out of establishment acting like y'all don't know what the fuck just happened? This is why this lady's face is up here, y'all. This is why this lady's face is up here this whole episode, because I am so sick of these Scots and all this bullshit and this rhetoric. I need a new cast. At this point, I don't give a fuck who comes back, who it is. I don't care if they're on Section 8. I don't care anymore. I don't want to see the Scots anymore because they do this goofy shit and then act like they ain't did nothing the whole damn time. I'm done. I can't with y'all. I can't with the Scots. That was crazy, but that was the episode, y'all. That was the episode. Mrs. Best, are you still here with me? I'm sorry. I don't know if Mrs. Best is still here. Honestly, Destiny is coming
I'm
over to
here.
my
My bad. My bad. My
Yeah.
DoorDasher fucked up the church's money, irritated my husband. I'm back.
Okay. No, I'm just saying Destiny. I'm warming up to Destiny. I'm starting to understand her a little bit better, but I feel like this show can be scrapped. As I told y'all, I'm almost to a point where hell, bring back the Love and Marriage Detroit. Hell, bring them back. Hell, I don't even care at this point because this is crazy. The fact that this show is still going on this strong, and the fact that I got to come up here every Sunday and talk about this shit is stupid. But that was the episode, Mrs. Best. Anything you would like to talk about that I may not have mentioned?
Letitia needs to leave the show. I think she brings it down. Kimmy, I don't care for Kimmy, but my dislike for Kimmy, I don't feel like she's useless to the show. But Tisha, I actually feel like she is useless and damaging. She kind of, y'all gonna think this is a reach. Britt Edie, aka Broke Edie from Housewives of Atlanta. Tisha is the example of what would have become if she would have stayed on that show. Like, I just don't feel like she contributes anything genuine to the storyline. She and her husband are never honest with anything. They don't want to share much. She's extremely mean to people in a way that doesn't make sense. To call your mom on the show is cringeworthy. I'm tired of looking at her mama. I'm tired of hearing about her mama. She make me not want to meet nobody named Wanda ever again in my life. Like, I don't feel like there's anything that the Scots contribute to this show that can help it. I actually feel like they bring the show down. But she could go. If they have to get rid of anybody from Love and Marriage Huntsville, I think it should be Letitia and Marceau. They just so full of shit.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Keywan, this is your last. Wait, hold on. This is your last time reviewing the season. The hell, this might be my last time too, because I'm tired of these.
Not everything is worth the views, in my opinion. There's so many different shows. We have so many apps out here. I reviewed a random documentary on Hulu and got higher views than I would get on a lot of the shows we cover. But Love and Marriage Huntsville, they have to figure something out. And the production is leaving stuff out with editing as it relates to understanding the history of things, not showing us people giving information so that we can assess it and actually, have a informed opinion about what the fuck we're watching. Like, just let it die. And I don't care what award they won, because everybody's like, who voted for that? Shit's trash.
I sure didn't. But that's okay, y'all. I'm gonna ride to the reunion and I'll determine from there, because this show is exhausting. I'm definitely on Destiny's side with this. Tisha was wrong as fuck. She admitted she was wrong. Well, no, she didn't admit. She knew she was wrong as fuck with Kimmy in that scene, and the fact that she couldn't tell Destiny that. You wanted Destiny to admit she was wrong so she could kiss your ass.
Doing all of that in a cat suit with some matted ass bohos. Go home.
Crazy. But that was Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. That was the show. It was okay for what it was. As I said, this whole episode irritated me. Everybody. So, hopefully next week's episode is better. I don't know when the reunion is, Keywan. I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's soon, because I'm ready for it.
It has to be soon, because Bell Collective, the original one, is coming back in June. And didn't we already have a mid-whatever break for Love and Marriage? So I feel like maybe it'll come soon.
Hopefully it does. Maybe. I'm ready. I'm ready for it, because these motherfuckers is killing me. But anyways, y'all, thank you guys for being here once again. I thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. Shout out to my replay game. Leave a comment. Let me know how y'all thought the episode went. I appreciate every last one of you. Make sure you guys are subscribed to me. Please subscribe to me if you're watching this video. Like the video. Please give me the algorithm, and I will see you guys on my next live, which will be tomorrow, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye now.